treat people the very best I can the first time I interact with them, and after that I treat them as they treat me.
What is the philosophical meaning of the word justice?
So justice is accepting and universalizing the other person's innate principle of their behavior and recognizing that no person who initiates an action can justly complain if that action is returned to them. Right? So if I go and push some guy, I'm saying it's fine to push people. So I can't complain if that person pushes me back. If Bob pushes over Sally, Sally pushes him back, and he then cries and complains and says that she's so mean for doing it, we recognize that that's unjust because by complaining that the other person is doing something wrong, by Bob complaining that Sally pushed him over, he's saying that he knows that pushing over someone is wrong, but he pushed over Sally to begin with. Right? So that's the huge problem. And people who know what they're doing is wrong and justify what they're doing, those are the people, if I had to make a line in the sand, those are the people to whom retaliation has value. Whatever people justify, they will repeat. So because whatever people justify, they will repeat, if somebody's justifying their immoral actions against you and you don't act against them back, then you're complicit in the repetition. Payback, principled payback, proportional restitution and principled payback, I think those are the sort of two sides of the arch that holds up the concept of justice. And people feel uncomfortable about this. I treat people the very best I can the first time I interact with them, and after that I treat them as they treat me. People have a tough time with this. They really do. Because what you want to get out of Socrates is turn the other cheek. That's what people want to get out of Jesus, turn the other cheek. That's not how justice works. Now, there are times when turning the other cheek will reduce the presence of immorality in the world. But there are times when turning the other cheek will escalate the presence of immorality in the world. You have to be flexible to what's going on, and justice should seek to reduce the amount of immorality in the world, and sometimes that means turning the other cheek, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's why the second keystone of the arch is or the second side of the arch is so important, which is the person justifying what they do? And if they are justifying what they do, then turn the other cheek is only going to reward that behavior and therefore cause an increase in immorality in the world. If they are self-attacking with regards to their behavior, if they have a conscience, then turning the other cheek will increase the amount of morality in the world, because your gentleness and kindness and sensitivity to their moral sensitivity will be viewed as a positive thing for them, and it will enhance their empathy, which we need for people to behave well. If you are intent on committing immoral actions, then your goal is to paralyze retaliation, right? Now, there are two ways to paralyze retaliation. Number one is to preach turn the other cheek. If you can convince people to turn the other cheek, then it rewards people who are justifying their own actions and will continue. Now, and that turn the other cheek is terrible, because it requires that bad people recognize the virtues of good people. This is why if it's not pushed back against, it's going to escalate, because it's justified, right? This is how you know whether to push back or turn the other cheek. If the person's justifying what they're doing, it's only going to escalate unless you push back. And of course, I just mean sort of verbally and all that. But
right.
That's I think that's the dividing line, and that's where people have a tough time. Because we would all like to turn the other cheek in many cases, right? Because it's easier and nicer, and you know, we can buy ourselves 5 more minutes apiece. But there are times where turning the other cheek is going to escalate dysfunction and immorality in the world, and it comes around whether the person who is being aggressive is justifying their own actions particularly according to a moral standard. Then you are not in the turn the other cheek territory anymore, right? So that's the huge problem. And people who know what they're doing is wrong and justify what they're doing, those are the people, if I had to make a line in the sand, those are the people to whom retaliation has value. Those are the people to whom retaliation has value. I treat people the very best I can the first time I interact with them, and after that I treat them as they treat me.
They may smile at you on the street, but that doesn't mean they like you.